Hey guys, Kyle Brown with Carl Zeiss Sports Optics for North America. Today we're going to go over how to sight in and zero ZEISS Conquest V6 3-18x50 model, and it's the same process for the Conquest V6 5-30x50 model as well. If you like what you just saw downrange, you got to prepare at the range. So today we'll have a little bit of a different technique where we're going to look down the bore, called bore sighting. Look down the bore, find the target we're intending to shoot down range, and we'll try to adjust the reticle with the elevation and windage turret controls. So let's get started. Rule number one in this process is you want to have your scope set to its maximum magnification. Now we'll go ahead and look down the bore itself. We've removed the bolt from the bolt action rifle. We're trying to get a nice alignment. This is a bit of a finesse process, and if you're willing to be patient, this will save you a lot of aggravation and ammunition and time. So it looks like I got pretty good elevation already, not too much to work with, and windage was quite a bit off. So let's see what we've got now. Remember, we're trying to get the target downrange centered up with the bore itself. Once we have that, carefully look back up at the scope and see how close we are. Right now, I feel comfortable that we're close enough, so let's go ahead and get a few shots downrange. I'm going to aim at the lower, larger bullseye downrange. Shoot my second shot to confirm. So we're going to go ahead and adjust the rifle scope reticle to the bullet hole. So what we're going to do there is adjust the elevation turret and the windage turret to coincide with the point of impact downrange, with the bullet's point of impact downrange. Here's where you want to be patient. Get a nice steady rest. Make sure the rest is doing all the work. It's got to hold the rifle to your original point of aim. While it's holding it to the original point of aim, go ahead and move your turrets until the reticle intersects to the appropriate point of impact. So we've made some finer adjustments. It's time to shoot a couple more downrange and see where we're at. I'm going to go and shoot at the original target, the lower orange bullseye. Well guys, this is why I love the 3-18x50. Not only is it precise, accurate, and repeatable, but through this at 18 power, this glass and the light on target, I can see that I've pinwheeled that target downrange. I don't need to look through the spot or anything. That's how nice this glass and these optics are. That shot fluoride glass is a beautiful, beautiful image. Gives me a tremendous amount of resolution power, and the contrast is exceptional. I'm going to go ahead and shoot a second shot just because I enjoy doing this. But for all practical purposes, it looks like I'm sighted in. Second shot would confirm it. Now that we have it sighted in, now we need to finish our zero process by setting the ballistic stop and reindexing the turrets to zero to include both windage and elevation turrets. So we're going to loosen but not remove the elevation turret top. 2 set screws, we're simply going to loosen them, but not remove them. Once we have them loose, we're going to lift it, set it off, and then there should be 2 set screws for the ballistic stop barrel. There's that one. There's that one. Remove that, set it aside. At this stage, if we were working with this rifle scope and we'd ran out of downward travel or upward travel, it would mean that the scope from the factory was set at the middle of the elevation travel, and so was the ballistic stop. At this point, while you have the ballistic stop removed, you would go ahead and continue your sight-in process by rotating the turret stem clockwise or counterclockwise, clockwise for down, counterclockwise for up. That was not the case for our sight-in process today, so we're going to go ahead and set the ballistic stop back on it. For clarity, there's a cam on the ballistic stop itself. There's a stop pin right here on the base of the turret itself. The ballistic stop cam, while turning clockwise, is going to hit that stop pin on the base. Once it does, hold it in position, keeping the mechanical parts clean and serviceable. So now what we've done is we've just met resistance for the set screws. So once I meet resistance, I like to go about another 1/16 of a turn on each set screw. And you know what the torque setting is by following it from the owner's manual itself or noticing the torque settings at the lower portion of the screen. Once we have the ballistic stop set in place, we can go ahead and index the turret to 0. Notice we've aligned our 0 mark up with the 0 indicator mark at the base of the turret. While holding that in position, we'll go ahead and tighten the set screws as well. I'm at resistance, I stopped. I'm at resistance and I stopped. Now I'm just going to go about a 1/16 of a turn and a 1/16 of a turn. It's more important to follow the torque settings in the owner's manual as listed at the lower portion of this screen. But now we have our ballistic stop set on our elevation turret. So what about the windage? We have our windage is 0'd, but we're at 6. So what we want to do is re-index this windage turret to 0 so we know where we're at. Again, you have 2 set screws. We're going to loosen, but not remove them, just loosen the set screws. Now they're loosened, so now it should rotate freely. If there's any clicks at all, we didn't loosen the set screws enough. It should not click at all, it just rotates freely. Now I've indexed the 0 to the 0 indicator mark, so now all I'm going to do is hold it in place while I tighten the set screws. I'm at resistance and about a 1/16 of a turn. I'll find the second one. I'm at resistance, about a 1/16 of a turn. Now we know where our windage is as well. We're indexed windage at 0. So now we go at 0 and 0 on elevation and windage. This rifle scope and rifle are officially sighted in, 0'd, and the ballistic stop is set. That pretty much wraps up our sight in and 0 process and ballistic stop setting for our ZEISS Conquest V6 3-18x50 and 5-30x50 models. If you have any questions on what you saw here today on the video, don't hesitate to call our customer service number located at the bottom of this screen. And also don't hesitate to download or send us an email or give us a call to send you a printed version of the ZEISS Conquest V6 owner's manuals. There's a lot of information in here, lots of picture illustrations, lots of step-by-step instructions. We want you to enjoy your new purchase and have a great time in the field with it. Thank you. Bye-bye.